Welcome back everyone to the Spearhead cast with me, Matt. Every 1v1 on Canal Park or whatever it's called. It's a custom 1v1 map on the workshop. Let's go through the players, shall we? We have Professor for the United States of America as Ranger Company out the gate, okay. And we have Re-Racial. Excuse me, I'm just checking if I am recording, I am. Okay, Re-Racial as the Wehrmacht, however they have not picked a commander yet. We'll see what they pick. They'll probably pick someone to respawn when they notice the Professor has gone for Rangers. It should be an interesting one. Hopefully, anyhow. So we have the Pioneers digging in already by this monument obelisk thing. It's like in some Dutch town, I believe. Canal Park is, I believe, meant to be based on a Dutch city. It plays in a Dutch city, basically. You can see it in the distance. With a battleship with no graphics on it. Okay, with no textures. Okay. That's fair.
You need something built?
Oh, we have already seen a commander choice before actually seeing the Americans. It's range. It's a Panzer. Okay. The Panzer versus Ranger. That's an interesting choice. Also seeing just purely riflemen coming out for Professor. No Ranger demolition teams like we've seen in a few of the recent matches. Will quickly turn into a big firefight once they start engaging one another. I think the first shots might be fired shortly.
Ready for action.
Yep, first shots have been fired.
God damn it! Someone get us out of here!
Radman have fired a few shots with them on Garants towards the Volksgrenadiers. They can start securing some ground down here, but they still need to take the cutoff. Pioneers is up behind some sandbags down there. So we are gonna have a lot of maneuvering here early. Volksgrenadiers are trying to get close. And opening fire with their Sturmgewehrs. Only got one burst off, didn't kill a single guy, however. They might have riflemen try to flank down here, but Pioneers are in a position to flank. Looks like they will. Oh, the Americans turn around. Opening up with aim on Grants. Oh, yeah, that's painful. Grenadiers have been pushed back, though. One Pioneer remains. He's trying to get out of there. Notice the American got the upper hand in that engagement, but double Volksgrenadiers are coming this way. There's only 3 riflemen. They're not going to be able to last against all these men. And there's Sturmgewehrs open fire.
All sectors.
And there he goes. But the American troop is trying to flank.
Of an infantry unit being wiped out.
Vertical being prepared by the United States. Second Grenadier squad arriving for the Wehrmacht. Okay. The Echelon are still standing there, not doing much at the moment. But the Americans are threatening the munitions point of the Wehrmacht here. Which could lead to the Americans getting the upper hand in munitions, which could mean they could equip their troops with more stuff. Volksgrenadiers try to sit behind all these crates and similar. But Grenadiers are coming up to try and stop the Americans. Vertical arriving, looks like it's an air-cooled version. Volksgrenadiers are securing ground. Americans are finally securing their fuel. Probably way too focused on just actually doing the battle than capturing the fuel point. They also want to 500 Grenadiers from this angle. Looks like they can get some pot shots through this little alley. The Grenadiers will do well in long range. Here's the Vertical sitting up behind this destroyed car. This turned over car anyway. The ARs coming out for the US riflemen, thanks to the extra munitions. Volksgrenadiers set up down here at this part of the road. More riflemen coming to replace the losses there. I guess they're running back to heal. Recon team being requisitioned by the United States. Looks like takeoff for the Wehrmacht has completed. Excuse me. You might see the Waffenkammer coming up now. They already have the Barracken and they get an MG42. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Pioneers have been pulled back to set up the Waffenkammer. Grenadiers and Riflemen have a long-range engagement here. The Grenadiers should win this if it's cover-to-cover fighting. They're throwing a smoke grenade. Okay. Guess they want to take the point. The Echelon are coming up though. I don't think those Grenadiers are going to do well. Rifle going in. Good rifle grenade. Pioneers out, Grenadiers out in the open though. Back in behind cover, behind an old destroyed well. And more Grenadiers also in position shortly. Recon team present now for the United States. Grenadiers are flanking, very smart. Sitting up behind this bench. And getting some rifle shots into the side of these riflemen. Very good usage of the Grenadiers there. Recon team is there, but they have no cover because cover is directional actually. So this angle, their cover is not actually working. As you can see, one recon guy remains. They might get shut down. Yeah, he's not being very accurate. And there he goes. That's an expensive loss for the United States. BAR rifleman coming up, and the BAR really does improve the firepower of an American squad. It's a very accurate battle rifle, basically. It only has 20 rounds, though. It has to reload very frequently. That said, it's very powerful, as we might see here. Already taking out one guy. Has to reload already, as you can see. Those 20 rounds get spent very quickly. 2-1 coming up for the Wehrmacht. Panzerbüchse armed on these pioneers to deal with any American light vehicles that might be coming their way. German anti-tank rifle. And here comes the 2-1, already being upgraded to a 2-2. I think one of the a very unique skin. I'm not sure what the point of this the orange stripes on this one is. I personally think it would just make it a clear target, but I'm not an expert in camouflage, so it might have some effect. Because the 2-2 is going to be much harder for the Americans to deal with, as they don't have any light AT in the infantry, but they are getting a 57, I imagine. That's a 57mm, that will do the job. The emplacement being set up, probably to be equipped with a 50 cal, but it might be too late at this point. Looks like the Germans are going to overrun this position. Already pushing up everything. Most Grenadiers and Grenadiers being very aggressive.
AT gun ready.
Vertical set up here to cover this northern area. 2042 is also present. American riflemen have been pulled down here with their BARs. No, I'm being called. Very typical, isn't it? I'll be right back. Again, real big apologies. I seem to get a lot of calls these days. From my family. I guess they just really want to talk to me or something. Again, I don't really do much in my everyday, so they're just very curious, I guess. Anyway, we're back to the action. Looks like the grenade was thrown over, but did not do much. Most Grenadiers will lose in the long run in a firefight with BARs, I think. Grenadiers are holed up in cover back here, but they are being suppressed by all the BARs. 2-2 is moving to flank. There's a 57mm somewhere. But I think the Germans do know it's there. Oh, the 2-2 is trying to clear out cover. 57 did not get it shut off. More Grenadiers are present. But the Americans are still pushing up with the BARs. They're getting closer and closer now, which means they should be more accurate with them. The 2-2 is also still around. Grenadiers now trying to move in for the kill. They want to kill the crew on that 57. Oh, good rifle grenade. Pineapple in their way though. Oh, pretty lethal pineapple. The 2 is gonna go in for the kill.
We have lost the squad.
I'm looking good for the 57 bots. Oh, it won out! Oh my god, that's a really lucky 57mm crew. Holy shit! F1 coming out for the Wehrmacht. We also have a Ranger squad coming in. These are elite troops available to Ranger Company. Some of the best soldiers in the US Army. Very costly though. Being equipped with cheaper Thompsons with 30 rounds as well as a BAR on slow fire. Which actually makes it a very effective long range weapon available to Rangers. Let's see how well these Rangers will do. They're just lacking in AT equipment at the moment. But the F1 is pulling out here. Coming onto the battlefield quickly.
for action.
We also have a Jeep coming out with a 50 caliber. They'll not do much to an F1 though. Well, the Americans only really have the 57mm to deal with the F1. Also coming with this strange orange stripe camo. Oh, and those Raiders gonna be in trouble. It's also the MG42 here. Is that a mine? That mine's been being laid down here by the debris echelon, but the Jeep is already taken care of. F1 is pursuing very aggressively, using a heat shell here. Didn't do much. That MG's dead though.
Panzer Grenadiers standing by.
Most Deutschland Panzer Grenadiers coming onto the field. Elite recon light infantry unit available to Panzer Division. They're good for supporting tanks. Looks like the Germans are going to aim to steal the 30 cal. Yep. 30 cal being stolen here by the Volksgrenadiers. Also the MG42 sitting up over here. There's the Rangers. Rangers are still back at base. Looks like he dropped the slow fire BAR, probably to get a bazooka instead. We don't know. Could be. The 42 is also still pinning the reaction on. It is out in the open with no cover though, which is starting to show. Here's the Groß Deutschland. Very elite infantry. They'll take out a squad, this weapon team really fast. But here comes the Rangers. And Rangers are using fire superiority, an American ability that allows them to suppress. Good grenade throw, but they're not doing enough. Groß Deutschland are pulling back. There's going to be echelon 1 out in the end. Thanks to the heavy cover and the MG being out in the open. Now the Germans have 2 machine guns, a 30 cal and an MG42. MG42 armed on the Groß Deutschland. Flamethrowers being armed on the Volksgrenadiers. Now this I like to see. Now that is not something we see often. So I always like seeing more unorthodox weapon builds coming out. Especially because I believe it's doctrinal. I think you need to be Panzer in order to get flamethrowers on your Volksgrenadiers, but I'm not sure on that one. Well, it's cool to see. Looks like a plane came in, probably dropping some weapons. So that's actually medical supplies. Ah, for the riflemen, I get it. Rangers are slowly fighting here over long distance, which they're not really equipped for at the moment unless they get the BAR ready.
A lieutenant has been assigned to field ops. Light trucks ready to deploy.
Let's see. American lieutenant arriving. Also an A2 Sherman coming in behind us. Both Grenadiers have gotten their first Flammenwerfer. F1 almost prepared.
Yes.
Now they need to decide what they want to do. Because the Americans are going to push up briefly. Perhaps the Rangers will flank around while the riflemen take care of the front line. It seems to be what's happening. Using the Rangers lead the way ability.
Tank support is here. Sherman ready.
But here is the F1 in the way. They did take out the Volksgrenadiers almost. But now they are in problem. They might not get out of there. Yeah, they get mowed down. That's bad. You don't want to lose your Rangers like that. That's a risky maneuver of seeing the F1. Flammenwerfer arm Volksgrenadiers on the flank. Need to get closer though. But the Americans are holding this way in. F1 57mm did not penetrate. A2 Sherman is arriving though. This one should be able to beat the F1 easily. The Sherman is not a bad tank, but the F1 does have access to a heat shell. Here's the Sherman. That was one good shot already. There we go, F1 down. That's the power of the Sherman right there. Groß trying to push up and get mowed down by BARs. Looks like the stolen 30 cal's been set up down here. Shermans are pushing forward. Another Ranger squad being prepared behind us. Medical supplies are still present. Hans Gritty has been called in now for the Wehrmacht. Better assault infantry can be armed with Sturmgewehrs, actually. And MG-34s, if you want to fancy that. That can give them a lot of automatic firepower. Cool to see Volksgrenadiers with a Flammenwerfer, though. Not a 30 cal arriving for the United States. And they're already being armed with the Sturmgewehrs immediately out the gates. No big surprise. People like to go for the Sturmgewehrs as quickly as possible when they get them. It is a very potent weapon. Being one of the first assault rifles in history, it's really, really potent. .30 rounds, it's accurate and has good rate of fire. Overall, just a good weapon. But the Flammenwerfer's gonna come this way. Can I get close enough? Wait, they're gonna try and burn up the position. Good throw there. That's a pretty long throw.
Lost an infantry unit. They got wiped out.
Only 3 Rangers left that squad.
One of our points.
Rangers are really good though, but they are behind light cover while these Volksgrenadiers are behind heavy cover. Looks like the Volksgrenadiers lose their nerve. Germany now has access to tanks, or better tanks anyway. The F1 will definitely not do.
Sherman ready to go.
Second A2 being prepared by the United States. Also, Pack 40 has arrived, so completely missed that. 15 Panzergrenadiers are pushing up here. Much better for assaulting territory. But there are mines laid here. Americans are securing points on the other end though. Compensate. Threatening the German positions in the park. Looks like the Germans are just slowly picking away at the line there, but I think when the other A2 arrives, the Germans are going to have a little bit more trouble. Because we have no armor coming out for the Germans at the moment. They're relying entirely on infantry maneuvers and the Pack 40. And against Shermans, that's not easy. They also bring fire here quickly. He might throw a grenade over here. Yep. Pulling a button flash here, actually. Very smart. Hitting straight on the squad, actually. Almost killing an American squad entirely. But the Germans have to pull back because of the Sherman. Second Sherman has arrived. These schools say they're going to have their job. Their work cut out for them. Building collapses behind them. Panzer 4H being prepared behind us. Like 40 repositioning. Oh, high explosive shell from the Sherman. Destroys the Pioneers and the Großdeutschland. Horrible, horrible stuff. Americans have secured the Wehrmacht munitions. 57mm has been armed with binoculars or spotting targeting optics, that's what it's called. But here's the Panzer 4H. Premier medium tank before the Panzer of the Wehrmacht. Pretty competent Panzer 4, can deal with most things competently. 15s are running away here. Oh, running into the mines. MT-42 has to get out of there, I think. And the 30 cal too. Destroying their cover first of all. Panzer 4H is moving in here, but they're noticing another Sherman's presence. Well, good shot from the pack. And the Panzer 4 will probably kill this one. Yep. Ammo cooks off. Oh my. Volksgrenadier force coming up this way. Now there is a 30 caliber, it's set up the wrong way! But the Volksgrenadiers run because they probably didn't notice. Rangers present here armed with a slow fire BAR. Panzer 4 moving up. Loading high explosive, killing the machine gun. But the Shermans moving to flank. At this range the Sherman should win out. Yeah, ammo rack from the 57 right after. You want to stay at range when dueling against Germans. Or just any medium allied tank for that matter. Unless you're fighting something heavy like a jumbo. Or even EC8s. Oh, good Panzerfaust, but not destroy the tank. Oh, because he hit the front. Not looking good here for the Wehrmacht. They've lost a lot of units very quickly. The Americans have bounced back. Pretty nice to see. That Sherman will need some repairs, though. Looks like the Pioneers are moving to grab the Panzerbüchse. Yep. Not that I know a Panzerbüchse will do much against the tank, but there's not an American one. Looks like we have a Beerbox Panzer coming in for the Stuk. Essentially, it's a Stuk that's serving as an operational platform for the artillery.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
So essentially, this Stuk is being used to coordinate the artillery strikes from the Wehrmacht. Probably a good decision, honestly, but that Sherman could be a problem.
The enemy has broken our supply lines.
Stuk is calling in illumination barrage first.
We are losing
Giving the Wehrmacht sight over the battlefield via flares. Another vertical being prepared by USF. Now it needs to do something to make a comeback. They're also using a normal 10.5 centimeter high explosive after this. Force the Americans to move back. Not much else. So the Volksgrenadiers is going to support the Stuk here. Pushing up through the main street. Oh, perhaps not. They're splitting off. No. I want to figure out what they plan to do. Yeah, good. He needs to keep his Volksgrenadiers near the armor. It will help support it. Oh, he's just going to push up on the ground here. Like, I suppose that also works, but there's still mines. Still a lot of mines there, actually. You can see them down here in the unit bar.
50 cals up. We are ready for
Right to see one there.
We're losing a capture point.
But the Volksgrenadiers don't step on any. That's good for them. What are the Germans going to do to make a comeback here, if any? Always hard to determine. But Germans are securing a lot of territory rapidly here.
Yes?
E2 Sherman still being repaired. Looks at the Rangers and the American infantry relocating southwards. Thomas is being equipped on the Rangers. Other 30 cal sitting up there to hold the flank. Scavenging the tank wreck, good to see. You generally want to scavenge very frequently if you're playing as Germany late game. Gives you a lot more extra fuel to work with. I see 35 in that wreck. That's a pretty good haul. That's a little bit over that's more than a minute's worth of fuel at his current income rate.
Panzer Grenadiers standing by.
Also got some more Großleistern coming in. Here's the Americans. Pulling artillery as well. 75mm. Good needs to get a good shot here. Good shot. Injuring the loader. That's going to buy them some time. Flamethrower moving up to stun. Ah, but the flamethrower is missing. Yeah, because flame attacks actually do stun vehicles in Spearhead, if you're wondering. But those Volksgrenadiers are not going to get out. They got mowed down. There's too many BARs here. And now the Rangers here on the flank. Another Volksgrenadier down. Now there's only the Ghost Deutschland left. And they're getting mowed down out here. They'd have to pull back. Panzer 4H coming up behind us. Stuk is being very forward here. He probably wants to try and get rid of that German somehow, but he isn't quite sure how to do it. Rangers have no AT weapons at the moment though. But it might win out against this vertical the Germans have stolen. Nope, not anymore. Guys, there's Stuk intervening. This A2 Sherman needs repairs. He should not push it that far up to the front line. Looks like we also have MG42 set up in here to cover the main roads. Nice to see. Now the Panzer IV-H supporting a Stuk could be a good combination, but we need to see how the Americans deal with it. Because the American has got another AT gun. This one is a 3-inch, so that's a much bigger gun. That's the gun that's essentially on the M20, I believe, not M20, M10. The Wolverine, that's what its nickname is. I'm not good at all the number labels for American stuff, to be honest. So the Panzer IV's got to push the other flank though, when if 30 cal on the 57 is. But if this Panzer IV can get up behind the 57... Oh. Yeah, good, he noticed.
We must defend our headquarters.
Needs to get around the flank here. Yeah, now the 57 is not going to be able to do much high explosive going in on it. Killing the crew. That's going to kill the machine gun, at least force it to run. Oh, but the MG42 got mounted on top. That's a lot of firepower coming in, and those two remaining people try to run or crawl away, rather. One guy. He's not going to get out of there alive. And there he goes. Hack still in the center. Now the Panzer IV, if used correctly, will be able to help him survive, I think. This A2 is veteran C2, however, and has already gotten improvised armor. Trying to destroy the machine gun? It's a small target. He did destroy the AT gun. But you can also scavenge weapon, abandoned weapons if you're wondering. So you could actually grab his pioneers and scavenge that machine gun for some supplies. Oh, he decided to destroy it though. Good point though, because the Sherman is showing up. Just saying you can scavenge them. Oh, and there goes the Panzer IV already. Good job there from the 3-inch and the Sherman working in conjunction with one another.
The capture point is under attack.
That Stuk has to act quickly. Oh, but a shot from the penetrating from the Sherman. The 3-inch is covering the main road. And he needs to get repairs on that Stuk immediately. And what is he gonna do is the question. He could go for a Tiger, but he's not has to take up for that. He might not have, he doesn't have the resources to really focus on doing that, I think.
Yes, German territory increases.
Could try and invest in another Stuk. Stuks are very economical, generally. But the Panzer IV is almost as good, it seems.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Very hard decision to pull. Of course, I'm pushing up here, but there are Rangers nearby. Artillery called in on the German positions. Not sure what kind of artillery. Oh, looks like it was time on target. Germans are suffering very heavy losses still. Artillery called in here. This one looks like 75mm. Force the Germans to get up behind cover here of this bench. The Lieutenant and the Rangers are working in conjunction. But the Sturmgewehrs are showing. And the MG42 now opening fire too. Still, the Panzergrenadiers have to get out of that. The Panzer IV-H coming up behind us. Luke is moving up here to try and stop whatever the Americans are trying to do. Destroying the pack, oh god. Now the building there with the MG42 there has to abandon it. Looking good here for the Germans. We also have a jumper coming up behind us. The Sherman's getting very close. No penetration. Oh, and the Stuk is down. That's the power of the Sherman right there, everyone. It's an exceptionally good tank. Especially with the improvised armor. Wow, that's actually not bad. Giving 20% more increased health. Although they didn't get penetrated there, still that's pretty big. The Hauptmann, I don't think can really do much. He's probably just be withdrawn for a refund.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Panzer IV-H onto the field here.
The enemy has driven a wedge in our lines.
Looks like the Lieutenant might actually win that thanks to his veterancy. Hard to say. So Jumbo is coming out to the field, and this thing has higher frontal armor than a Tiger and a Panther, which is absolutely ridiculous on a German model, by the way. That thing will just soak up most German shots at it. That's not rocket or heat based. Oh, Flinch being very brave here. Oh, very good shot there on the Panzer IV though. I've pulled it out of the battle for a while. Very risky maneuver though from the team. Looks like they might not get out of there.
Point is under attack.
Oh, they might with one guy. Ooh. We'll start on his funding, and there we go. Mowed them down.
We lost an infantry unit. They got
Oh, there are mines down here though.
Get down!
Very cheeky with the mines. A2 is pushing down here. That Panzer IV is not going to be able to do anything to a Jumbo though, I think. As the Jumbo has revealed itself.
I can't see shit.
Oh, and the Hauptmann is down to a high explosive shell.
Unit ready for action.
Yeah, I think the Germans are about to be overrun. The Rangers and their good usage of armored support is really pulled through. And that Sherman crew has done an amazing job.
Just got a report of an infantry unit being wiped out. A capture point.
I don't think the
is being
Panzer Grenadiers will
overrun.
be able to hold this part of the city for much longer. Panzer IV is trying to push out without it even being fully repaired, I think. Just needs to have its gun out there. But if he moves towards the A2, the Jumbo's gonna flank. Oh, he didn't even penetrate the A2!
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
And the Jumbo's moving in, getting the kill.
Target destroyed.
Yeah, it looks like the Germans took all the heavy losses here. Rangers pushed through and led themselves to victory. Yep, playback is over. I hope you all enjoyed this one, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye!